Get Doris to shut up.
Oh.
If I only had a brain. A lot of people have been saying that.
You look like the little character that used to be on the school books standing in the corner.
That's true. I remember that. I've kind of forgotten about
Usually
that.
said, drink milk for good health. Around here he did.
So anyway, today we're going to have salads and
And
stuff,
which circus did you escape from?
I'm not sure which one. There have been so many down
Oh, I know.
And I escaped from the circus known as my business just earlier today, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's good. Well, that's
the whole place
lovely.
smells,
Sure.
Well, thank you. And I wore it on the warmest day we've had thus far this year.
We're in the
almost
dead
died.
of winter, and yesterday the temperature was 75, and today it's.
And I get up this morning and decide, well, you know, maybe I'll wear something a little warm. It's been awful, but
just
anyway.
terrible. Well, let's get the witch in here and see what we're going to do today.
Well, one of us has got to volunteer here
There she goes. Just missed it a little
capture
bit.
her. Is that a different one? That's the new one.
Yeah, that's our
We have
witch
just installed a new witch.
after she had her facial
She's had a facelift, among other
and
things.
new clothes.
Dear Mr. Johnson, Mr. Blah, and Mrs. Ford is now being included in this. Could you help our family? My great-grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. A.C.
Rolanitis, I think.
Rolanitis will soon celebrate their diamond anniversary. They've been married for 75 years. We want to have some great party food. It's okay if some of it's funny because they have a great sense of humor. The oldest son slipped his father a Viagra tablet the other day, and ever since, grandmother has had to keep him propped up in the corner. We hope he'll be able to sit in the chair again by next week. Sincerely, Mrs. Frank Spencer, Ponce de Leon City, Florida. Okay, well, the answer is we do have party food. And,
We do.
and I have a party hat, and I'm not wearing it for another minute.
Right,
I love it, but it's
I
hot.
wasn't about to put mine on either. Yet.
And besides, it leaves this little thing under your chin.
It just highlights that double chin.
A double chin. Works that chin for whatever.
Well, I'm doing an artichoke dip.
And I'm going to do some kind of a Mexican 7-layer dip, and I do hope that I haven't left one or two of the layers somewhere.
Right.
You know me, it could well be a Mexican 4.5 layer dip.
Before we start.
Speaking of dips, oh, I thought you were going to bring in Doris.
No, well, speaking of dips. Anyway, this lady,
Doris and the dips.
this is one of our fans from Richlands, Virginia. Her name is Frances. I won't give her whole name.
They're such nice people down there.
Because I'm afraid our other fans would go to her house and choke slam her.
They're such nice people
But anyway,
down
she
there.
wrote and said, Laban and Larry, and she wrote it on it, typed it on an envelope, which I thought was real sweet, and
That's
put it in another.
Is it a sweet letter?
Well, Laban and Larry are often wondering why seals are put on so many products in the supermarket.
We've asked that.
Have they never seen customers take the top off the ketchup or mayo bottle and lick the top of the top, or get a bite with their finger?
Well, as a matter of fact, I haven't. Thank you.
Neither have I.
Maybe I've been going to a nice up-brand
How
store.
about the little girl at the food bar who picks up the spoon from the dressing and licks it? I have never seen that
never
either,
seen
Francis.
that at my store, honey.
Myself, I feel much safer with seals on everything. Bet you do too. Now, lady, I don't.
You know what I got to say?
Seals are what?
Put a seal on it.
Yeah. No,
what I
look
got
at
to say.
Francis. We love you to
We
death.
love you. You're wonderful.
But I have never. I'm 57. I have shopped for years. I love to go shopping at the grocery store. I go all the time, and I have never seen anybody do that. The seals are there for our protection, and we've never complained about the seals. We've complained about the seals that you can't get open.
That's right.
That's the problem.
That is true.
The ones that have the little tab on that you can just flip off.
Now, I
go
have
right.
occasionally seen a little box of crackers someone opened up, made half of them, left the box, but any fool that picks that up and takes it home deserves what you
Absolutely.
get. But
No,
anyway.
that's all, the seal is not to keep people from getting into it. It's to let you know somebody has.
That is
That's
true.
the point.
Speaking of fresh seals,
Yes.
and the freshest woman on our show today, the very lovely Doris Ford.
bring her in.
She has to do something preparatory to something very festive she's going
Yes.
to do, and we're not talking the fandango.
We got
so come in here.
we got this recipe, and we just had to laugh because it was so funny, and we said this
We
is a
decided
Doris
to give
recipe.
it to you. I've got to get that out of the way. just
I had to do deviled eggs, and you have to dye the white part of the egg.
Now,
and
did you know you could do that?
well, when you do it with pickled beets.
Yeah,
I
guess
never thought about
I
doing
never
it
thought
with a
it either.
dye. And you just take food coloring, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and enough water. It said boiling water, but this is just warm. And put it over the eggs, and just, I left them for a while, and they're pretty bright. But if you just want them, they die.
And you could
pretty,
use
can
any
already
color,
see.
right?
I did all 3 colors. You can see they're already picking up the color. But you were talking about seals. Let me tell you about my aunt. We were on our way to a wedding, and we stopped at a drugstore. And we go up the aisles, and she said she forgot to use her deodorant. So she goes into the deodorant aisle, opens up the thing, puts the deodorant on, and puts it back on the shelf. So I have seen. And she is no longer with us, but I mean, so she's not going to get back at us.
There you go.
But she actually did that. I just.
Oh, how terrible.
But see, look at the
well,
eggs
Francis,
are
maybe
already
you're right.
changed.
Yes, perhaps you are.
So-
Just hearing about it makes me want to not touch this microphone close to
But
you
that was
anymore.
years ago, right?
Not that many.
Oh.
10, maybe 10.
No,
Doris, you're a big help.
But see, my eggs are already.
Yeah,
look, they're
well,
already
just
changed.
leave them in there. And
You
we'll
wanna
see-
leave 'em to the
yeah.
end of the show?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
leave
sure.
'em.
Let's see how
Okay.
dark they get.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you
That'd be a
go.
lot of fun.
Okay, have fun.
All right. Goodbye. Nice to see
We'll see you later.
you. Well, that was a charming story.
Well, wait a minute.
That was a charming story, don't
What
you
did she
think?
do with the microphone?
Well, I don't know.
It's under the door.
Let's just say I'm wearing it where I wasn't wearing it a while ago. Okay. You
All
go
right,
on.
you want to go ahead and start?
I'll
You go
start. I
ahead.
have to do something so very difficult here at the beginning of this. You'll notice that I have brought, I probably own more cheap Mexican glass and bowls. I love it. I just think it's because it's wobbly and wonderful and very colorful. And you can buy it just about anywhere. It looks dirty, but it really isn't. It's got all those little bubbles and all that stuff
Right.
where they broke it off on the bottom when they were spinning it around. Anyway, so I brought my Mexican glass in today. One of my Mexican bowls for this Mexican 7-layer dip sent in by Joanne Kreger of Salem, Virginia, all the way over in Salem. Nice. I'm glad we're still coming in over there. So, and then I'll be coming in over there right after the show. And what you can start out with a can, 16 ounces of Pintos. Now, this sounds like the southern way to start a Mexican recipe to me. And if you do the Pintos, you got to smash them up with the smasher. And it doesn't say this, but if I were going to do that, I think I'd add a little bit of garlic to it and a little snappy peppy. But I am going to take, or it does give you the option of a can of fat-free refried beans, and that's what I got today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the refried beans in here, and I'm going to take a little hot sauce, just a little bit of hot sauce, and I'm going to smush that in there before I put it as my first layer in this bowl. And this is pretty exciting. So
Well,
anyway.
it really is.
Well, you just got to do these things. So I opted for the refried beans because I think they're just a little more exciting, although I guess Pintos are just smushed up fried beans. But this does have a little garlic in it, I'm certain. It has to. It has to have a little something more than just Pintos, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would
It probably
think
has
so.
some kind of grease in it, too.
And Laban, I know how much you love beans.
I've gotten where I'm eating them, and I find that if I make them myself and control what goes into
Oh, really?
that I've been sneaking around having a few from time to time.
I'm just going to put a little snappy peppy in now. Just a little bit.
Well, I'm
That's
glad
enough.
you brought that. I might need to use that.
Alrighty. Well, if you do.
Because I think this recipe needs it.
I will charge you only a nominal fee for the use of it. So just mix that around. Now, I had another idea on the way over here. What I would also do, in addition to adding a little bit of garlic salt or whatever to it, is maybe chop up some onions just real fine and add that in there too. But we're going to be putting scallions on top. So now this is your first layer. It is, I hope. Yes, this is your first layer. And I think that this bowl is woefully large for this recipe, but I don't care. I just wanted to show off some of my glass from home. Otherwise, it'd still be laying at home lonely.
I woke up this morning to hear on national television that you were retiring. I did.
On national television,
Yeah,
I'm
they
retiring.
said they were retiring Larry and Vince.
What does that mean?
Well, I thought, you'd worked for years as one of those test crash dummies.
Oh, is that? Oh, no. Okay, that's that. That's how exciting
All right.
that is. Now it's your turn.
Okay, well, I've got a can of
There.
artichokes, and I'm draining them out, as you can see, very carefully.
Everyone knows I've taken a few shots to the head, but nevertheless.
All right, now I want to say a piece about
not pretty
artichokes
safe.
in the can. These are just plain old canned artichokes. You can use frozen artichoke hearts. You could use fresh ones, but that would cost a fortune.
Do you have to wash those to get the metallic taste off of them?
You could, but I'm not going to. And
knowing how much I enjoy that wonderful metallic taste.
You cannot use the ones that come in the little jars with the marinade.
Why
That won't work.
Because it'll
give
the
you a bad flavor.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just telling you, just use canned or frozen artichoke hearts. I also want to let you know that these things vary wildly in cost. Sometimes during the year they're relatively inexpensive. Other times, like right now, they're fairly pricey. You know, they're more than $2 for a can. So you might want to shop around and make this when they're not very expensive. But with the weather the way it's been in 1998 and 99, I don't have much hope for any vegetable being cheap anytime in the rest of our life. So just be prepared for that. Now, you put the whole can in a bowl and chop them up, or in a little processor. And I have this little one that I drag out every once in a while. And you got to be real
this is
careful.
One from home, so we don't have to worry about it exploding.
Right, I know it works.
Oh.
And you just want to pulse it just a little bit, because you want to leave them in chunks. You do not want to make it a puree. Just let it have some texture to it, and that's the greatest of plenty. And I'm going to put this in a bowl, and while I'm doing that, you can put some more of your ingredients in.
Well, the second thing that goes on this is a tomato chopped. And so I'm just going to take a nice red tomato and squeeze just a little bit of I just want to get some of those seeds out. I don't like all those seeds. And there's no delicate way to do it. You know, I saw one of those terribly high-priced chefs recently do this very thing, and I felt so good, because we've been squeezing them maters for years, as you know, and he thought that he had just come up with something, but he really did. It was one of those high-priced ones.
With big glamorous sets,
big glamorous
and big budgets.
Rings and chandeliers hanging all over the place.
And millions of little dishes with every little piece of salt still in a dish, just like you do at home, right?
And tons and tons and tons of helpers running about, high-priced helpers doing stuff. Of course, we have Doris, and I'll take her any day of the week. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So just nice, just chop it up pretty nicely, and that's going to be your next layer, which you're going to put on this right now. Just layer that around. This is a no-brainer, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can, do this, but you have to do some salads once in a while. And I love Mexican salads, and they're real nice for hot summer days or whatever. And there you go. That's the next thing. Now, the next thing goes on there is half of green pepper chop. So I'm going to do that next. Pull all that stuff out of there and tap them seeds out and take this home to Mama. And here we go. And we'll chop those up. Now, chop them up fairly fine. Not everybody can have this salad because it'll just ruin some people. Thank heavens it doesn't have any cucumbers in it, or I wouldn't be able to touch it with a 10-foot pole. We'll chop that up a little bit. Now, for those of you that need an instant rerun, or actually an update from Egg Central, I want a startling shot of those red eggs getting redder by the second. They're just incredible. They're so beautiful. Do I need to sort of mush them around a little bit?
Yeah, those are the incredible reddable eggs.
There they are, and they look pretty. Now, take those and spread them around. You have to admit it's a real pretty
people write in and want to know why, some of these recipes, why on earth do we do colored deviled eggs like this? And the answer is, if we don't do it, who will?
Well, nobody much does them anymore. You don't even see, although we have a restaurant locally that sort of tickles me a little bit, a brand new barbecue joint, and among the appetizers, they offer deviled eggs. I don't, that is the most
real strange.
Curious thing. All right, they're giving me signs here, but I'm going to ignore them anyway. A cup of salsa goes on there next, and whenever you need to, jump right in.
All right, well, the next thing is a cup and a half of Parmesan cheese, and I'm using the shredded kind. Here's another tip for the cost conscious. Now, if you really want to make this into a superlative dip, use the real Reggiano Parmigiano cheese.
What'd you
use
say?
It. Use
So, are
that-
you speaking a
use
foreign
the-
language?
Use the real Parmesan cheese and grate it yourself at home.
Reggiano Parmigiano.
Now, you can use a cheaper cheese that people have compared to sawdust or the dust off the floor that comes in the can, and you shake it out, and it's fairly inexpensive. And a cup and a half or 3/4 of a cup of that will do. The shredded kind has a little more flavor, and you'll find that your dip will have a better consistency if you use the shredded in a package. And that's a cup and a half or 3/4 of a cup. It just happened to be the right amount. So, Blythe?
Scallions go on there, for heaven's sake. Oh, excuse me, I'm over here scowling to myself. A cup of non-fat sour cream next goes on top of the salsa. But you know, maybe this bowl is just about the right size for this thing. You know, these things will fool you. They get bigger and bigger as you go along here. And next thing you know, you got enough salad to feed 500. How many is this supposed to serve? Serve a lot of people. It says it serves a powerful number of folks. Well, what did I say? It's a salad? It's a dip. They keep reminding, it is a dip. I'm sorry. Well, you know, I misspoke myself. Either that or I've never done it and looked at it before. Okay, now, next we have shredded cheddar cheese. Oh, I know how Mr. Johnson lights up when he hears about the cheddar cheese.
Well, I don't light up as much as I used to because
he's gone dim.
I don't want
He's
to.
dimmed down a little bit.
I just don't want to have.
Would you like to reach in here and grab out a big old wad of it?
No.
Huh?
Oh, I do. You know I do, but I'm not. No.
What? It is healthy, you know. Here, Mr. Johnson,
Like a
have
broken.
some.
No.
Open your mouth.
No. It's like a broken arm is better than a broken leg.
Well, that's be enough of that. We'll take that home to Mama. And next thing you got to do is 4 scallions sliced thinly. 2, 4. Take that home to Mama. Okay, we're going to take those and clean them up. I just washed them a few minutes ago. No, I should be getting all that corruption off of there, shouldn't I? But anyway, just little tiny slicey, okay? Go ahead, Johnson. It'll take me a couple
You know, my
minutes to do
friend
that.
Little Richard, not the rock
The singer?
star, but no,
Oh,
this is Little Richard that runs the World of Mirth Carnival shows and his famous food concessions all over the country. Has a big slogan on one of his food businesses that always says, "Take some home for baby." Anyway, now goes in a cup of mayonnaise. This has to be the real McCoy. You can't use the low-fat kind. It won't work because you have to bake this in the oven in a little bit. So you got to use real mayo. And you can use the mayo of your choice. Here in the South, we're kind of particular, and we use one particular brand. And
I always get mine at the Mayo Clinic.
here's another thing about mayo that goes along with what we were talking about the seals and stuff. Now, we're not telling people to go out and do this, but you know the admonition about being careful with anything with mayo in it spoiling and going bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true if you've made your own with raw egg yolks and everything, but commercial mayonnaise is a little hardier than that. And it's got a whole lot of preservatives and a whole lot of vinegar in it, and not so much in the way of egg yolks that are raw. As a matter of fact, they have no raw egg yolks in it. And so it's not quite as dangerous to take a salad with mayonnaise in it to the church or to a potluck supper or anything else, because it will not go bad on you that way, even in the hottest weather.
Well, I'll tell you something that lasts even longer than that. Miracle Whip.
Yep.
You can, truly, you can just leave it out for weeks. Please don't.
Don't.
No, children,
Well,
don't
you know,
do
another
that.
thing is margarine.
But there's nothing in it that's going to kill you, I
Yeah,
don't think.
margarine can be left out. It doesn't have to be, you're right, it's as long as it's wrapped, you can leave it out. Matter of fact, most grocery stores have it that way, out somewhere on the end cap of an aisle, and it doesn't have to be refrigerated.
Those eggs
Sorry.
are getting mighty red.
All right,
mighty
now
red.
look, I'm putting in a teaspoon of garlic powder, and this is where I think this recipe needs to be zipped up with a little hot sauce. So
Well, let me give
if
you
I
one.
could use your hot
Now,
sauce.
this is strange stuff that was given to me. It is Vidalia onion and summer tomato dressing.
Oh.
But it is real, it's spicy though, but I would use just a little bit of it.
No, I don't think I want to use it. Well, I'm going to, no, it just
Okay.
doesn't seem like to be what I want for this.
Okay by me. Now let me show you what I got here. My final thing is 10 pitted small black olives sliced. Well, when they went to slice these things, they just got carried away and, well, they're not slices. I'm sorry, I couldn't find any slices. Someone said, well, why didn't you buy the real thing and slice them? And I thought, well, you know, I'm just lazy like this. I love, that's why they invented this stuff, so I wouldn't have to stand around and slice it. So it doesn't matter so much. And you're right. Doris is agreeing with me totally. She says that it's probably better. And
Oh,
you're probably
no.
right. What?
I was looking around over here in this cabinet, and I've just discovered there is the corpse of a dead witch back in there.
Oh, so that's where the old witches go. Okay, there you go. Now, isn't that a lovely Mexican 7-layer dip? And let me tell you what's in it. Or if you got something.
No,
gotta
you go
do.
right ahead.
All righty. A can, 16 ounce of Pintos, all squished up, or a can of fat-free refried beans with a little hot pepper sauce. Tomato chop, half green pepper chop, a cup of salsa, a cup of non-fat sour cream, 3/4 of a cup of shredded non-fat cheddar cheese, 4 scallions thinly sliced, and 10 pitted small black olives sliced.
And
Johnson.
the artichoke dip has a can of artichokes, a cup of mayonnaise, 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, preferably shredded, and half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and that's it. You bake it at 350 degrees for half an hour.
Well, Doris, how are they coming
Boy,
along?
are they red. I think that if you want them for Easter or something, and you might want them a little more pastel, but see, the eggs turn out a real pretty color, and then you just take
Ooh.
your deviled egg part
And
just
look
put
at the
'em in, put 'em in.
contrasting colors.
And they're real pretty. And then
So you could do like green ones for St.
could do
Patrick's
all-
Day.
let me try breaking one in. Well, I'll break this one in half if it. See, and then you have the white.
Oh,
We don't know whether it's a
isn't
thing,
that
but you
startling.
have the white that's in there too, so you have a
Look
nice,
at
pretty.
look at what she prepared when she had a couple of minutes to do it. Isn't that pretty?
Okay, and that's the way it turns out. You want to put that over here?
Yeah.
Doris, that's amazing.
Well, we got to get over here and eat
Yeah.
this stuff, I guess.
Okay.
That's so pretty. That is just so pretty. And so are the eggs. Are mighty pretty too. I'm trying to be exceptionally nice to Doris today because she threatened to cut off my desserts if I wasn't better to
Look
her
at
on
this.
the trip.
She's put all these suckers over here.
Oh, little party trays also. Here, let me give you a little of this dip. Let
Thank
me
you.
give you a big old wad of this dip.
And let me give you some of this artichoke
Now let's see, what
spread.
color shall I have today? Will I have a blue one, or a green one, or a pink one, or a yellow one, or a red one? I think I'll go with the red and a green. What color would you like, Mr.
Oh,
Johnson?
give me a blue one.
There you go. The old blue
make
egg.
make me think of the robins.
Now, you can actually take tortilla chips, or as they call them here in Southwest Virginia, tortilla chips. I've heard that one said a couple of times. And you, of course, because this is a dip and not a salad, don't make that mistake.
Well, let me try this robin egg. Doris, that was really good. Let's see how this artichoke dip is.
You know, I love artichokes.
I do too.
This looks pretty. Well, I tell you, that's quite delicious. Was this baked?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. When did you do that?
This afternoon.
Oh.
A while ago.
Okay. I just didn't see anything go in the stove. I was confused.
No, you put it in a
Does she
little
make
pan.
good deviled eggs?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, I'm a great deviled egg maker. I grew up among deviled egg eaters. You've probably read about us.
Mm-hmm.
Famous Shenandoah Valley egg eaters.
Saw you at the Shenandoah Valley Fair one time.
Eating eggs?
Mhm.
Oh, I love them.
Egg eaters.
Oh, egg eaters.
Mm.
Some of my family with big old snouts on them.
This is a great set of recipes, folks. And we'll see you next time.
Wow.
Take care.